I'm Katie Kempner, and welcome to Perspectives here at Advertising Week Europe. Perspectives is a series of inspiring conversations with remarkable working women who are leading busy and successful lives. And right now, it's my pleasure to be talking to Karen Stacey. Welcome.
And welcome to you too.
So, you were just on a panel, and you said you caused a little bit of controversy on that panel. Can you share?
So I think, I guess there's a couple of things that I strongly agree with, which is, first of all, on the diversity thing, which is, I think you need to help parents back in work. And I think that most children have two parents. So it is a joint effort between both of you. And me and my husband have always done 50-50 care. And it's a real shame that although there's a paternity sort of agreement by the government, that only 1% of men have taken up that paternity agreement. So I would urge any leader to make sure that any men in their office are doing as much flexibility or help at home as the mother is.
And in your mind, does that extend to the different policies that that companies have around parenting?
Well, I mean, it's a legal right. It's a legal right for men to have the same flexibility. So I'm not sure why it's not being taken up, which seems really disappointing. And I do think it's the responsibility of women and the employer to make sure that they do.
And the responsibility of men to step forward and say, I'm going to do this.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It seems like that's more of a cultural thing, though, right? That maybe men don't feel as comfortable. Men of a certain age, I think younger men seem to be much more open to taking that role. Do you think that it has to do with age?
Maybe. I think it's they just need to shape up a bit.
They just need to shape up. Well, I want to talk about one more thing that you had said to me that also is controversial, which is your take on flexible working hours and virtually working. Because that's something a lot of times people, I was speaking to someone a little bit earlier who was saying that that's a very good option for women, especially when they have kids.
So I think there's a difference for me between flexible working and judging people on their output, not their input, than the whole Hotdesking, you can sit anywhere, go and sit with other people. Because I think human nature is like, we like routine. Mm-hmm. Most of us lived in our houses for a long time, or we don't come home and just go, let's put the kitchen somewhere else today. So I don't know why we think that going to work, we would like to be in a different setting or a different desk. So I really challenge that as a philosophy. I also think majority is about cost cutting. So but that's different to being flexible in people's working hours and working life and just flexibility in general.
So what is your take then on virtually working? I think you had said something to me that was kind of interesting about that.
So I think for me that the virtual working is good if you judge people on their output. I just don't buy that most people like to come to work, like to sit in the same desk, like to know where they stand, and everyone I know who's worked in the flexible environment, apart from the bosses who say it's really good, didn't enjoy it.
Did not enjoy it.
No.
Okay. So that's your take on it. So you're a mother to a 13-year-old. So one of the things about perspectives is I love to talk about balancing your professional and personal life. And actually, it's funny that I continue to use that word because pretty much everyone I talk to says they hate that word. So whether you call it balance or you just call it organizing between your professional and your personal life, what are some things that you did personally that helped you be able to get to the level of success that you have and also raise your family?
So probably the biggest difference for me was that we live in central London. So therefore, I don't have a big commute. I don't have the stresses and strains of being on trains or tubes. What it meant that I could, when my daughter was young, I could come home, put her to bed, give her tea, and then go out again. So I just think the biggest thing was you can't buy time. Doesn't matter how much money you earn, time is the most precious thing you can give your children. And so if you can do anything to make sure you've got time with them, I think that's a really good thing.
So do you have advice for people that, I think it's probably a lot easier for women to do that if they have a more senior position. If you're not as senior, it's not quite as easy to be like, I need to pop out and do this with my kid, or I need to take them to the doctor, or what advice do you have, or do you have any advice for someone who might be a little bit younger in their career but still needing to do that?
I think I'd urge every employee to give flexibility around things like that, because I'm a real believer that if you give, then you get so much more back. So I've always believed that most people really want to do well for their employer or their boss or there's more people in this world that are good than bad or take advantage. So I would make sure that you make the culture that you've got as flexible as possible.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's definitely good advice. Okay, so just to finish, is there one piece of advice that has helped guide you through your career and through your life that you could share with us?
Oh, what a good question. I think I'd go back to the sort of there's more good people than bad. Most people really want to do a good job. And yeah, that's just encouraging people to do their best is the ultimate thing you can do for people.
That's a good one. Thank you. It was great to talk with you.
And you. Thank you so much.
And thank you.